In this first season, I'm traveling through Iran. With my own rental car, I'll be discovering if Iran is a safe place to travel. As a photographer, I'll try to meet interesting people to see what's on their minds. I'm here to see if Iran is really that bad. Having spent a day in the big city of Tehran, I was eager for a change of scenery, so I headed down south to Esfahan. It turns out we had chosen a cold and rainy day to drive to the desert. At the petrol station, we found out that petrol is dirt cheap. To fill up the tank, we only needed 250,000 rial. That's just over $6.
A little village up in the mountains between Tehran and Esfahan, and it's absolutely abandoned. We are walking around here and I get the feeling we're the only ones, so it's nice to see this very tranquil place compared to Tehran, which is busy with a lot of traffic. I even need to wear my winter jacket because we're high up in the mountains. They've done something with these walls because it looks like it's all made from mud. You can still see the little fibers and they all have this natural earthly color. This is a really nice place for taking pictures. I wish there were a bit more people, but we can get this desolate vibe in this little village, and for ourselves it's good as well to calm down after all the traffic jams we've had in Tehran. A complete contrast to Tehran with a vibe on its own, and there's one other tourist, but virtually empty, at least.
Two tourists.
Two tourists even. How about that? We're not the only ones. This is really nice. It's weird to see that there's all these old houses, and then in the front they're like one caved in, and just the remains are in the middle of this village.
In the end, we did manage to find two more tourists, an Iranian couple. Compared to what we had seen in Tehran, they seemed a bit more reserved and conservative. But, of course, the mobile phones came out again to connect to Instagram. For us, it was time to continue our trip, off to Esfahan.
We're in the south of Esfahan. We're walking into a park to see if we can meet some local people, because apparently a lot of Iranians spend a lot of free time in parks. Well, this might sound weird, but I just went to the toilet, and the guy who was cleaning the toilet came running after me when I exited and handed me this flower.
That's curious.
It's weirdly romantic and curious, but I think it's a very nice gesture. I feel so awkward right now. Yeah. How do I look?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, ain't nobody stopping me today. Forget this guy.
I wanted to head into town, but then I spotted a group of girls, which I thought could be interesting to talk to.
Hello, ladies. How are you doing? Do you speak English?
Yes.
All right. Can I give you a nice flower? What? Oh. What are you smoking?
Hubble bubble.
Hubble bubble?
Yes.
Can I try?
Yes. Hubble bubble. Tu parlerai mij dat Oh, is toch niet?
This group of giggly teenage girls were sitting with their headscarves more off than on, out in the open. When I asked them about their hobbies, they started talking about their studies. So I asked them what they study.
Graphic.
Graphic, like
Yes.
design.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's nice. Science.
Chemistry.
Chemistry.
People in Iran are pretty well educated, so I wasn't surprised that they all study a variety of topics. If that doesn't bring a surprise, let's bring in the obvious topic of marriage.
Do you think it's important to get married?
No.
Why not?
Yes, of course.
No.
Yes.
But you say yes and you say no.
Yes.
Yes,
Why?
no, yes, no, yes.
Why?
It turns out that this is difficult to explain, for any teenager, I guess. It mostly boiled down to the fact that they all want to have a bit more fun and freedom before settling down. I was very surprised that they had a very traditional side, trying to stick to family values, and also have a very modern side, which is an open look at life, mostly choosing freedom before early marriage.
So we're here at the Siasapol River. And it's a river that cuts through Esfahan. Everybody told me this is one of the bridges you should take a look at because it's really pretty. But I think, okay, this is funny. Where did the water go?
On the bridge, I ran into a Belgian Iranian, who I can sort of understand with my Dutch. He explained what has happened.
Ik weet dat Iran van een paar jaar geleden echt probleem met het water. En van de Yazd staat gestopt water van deze rivier omdat mensen kan drinken. Voor de staatwater van de Yazd.
Dus ze hebben daar een dam gebouwd
Ja, dan
voor zichzelf.
Ja.
En nu staat het hier droog.
Ja, mensen is boos van de overproblemen. Eigenlijk, we kan niets doen en gewoon, we moeten wachten voor de regen.
Oké, maar ja, dan moet je wel heel lang wachten op regen. Want als het 10 jaar geleden is en het staat nog steeds droog.
Ja, nu is het droog.
Nou, we hopen...
Sounds pretty selfish that one city just grabs the water for itself, leaving Esfahan dry. I must admit, the Swan water bikes placed on such arid ground are ideal for some more pictures. In the next episode, I'm going on a shopping spree in the bazaar, find out that my beard is no match for these guys, and I spot a squirrel which is still holding its nut. Stay tuned.